Okay, so here we are. Another month, another Cabal's War Games. So, the list of units available is the Disruptor, the APC, the Juggernaut, the Pitbull, Kodiak, Mammoth Tank, Missile Trooper, Sandstorm, Orca Bomber, Titan, Wolverine, Zone Trooper, and Hammerhead, and all of the commanders are available. So I'm gonna talk you through these units and explain to you what I think the best deck is and why. So we're going to start with the tech units. So basically, the tech units are kind of terrible. It might seem like some of them are going to match up nicely, but the fact is that the Orca Bomber kills basically every tech unit in the game. So we're definitely going to want to play Orca Bomber. This thing will beat Disruptor, it'll beat Juggernaut, it'll beat Zone Troopers, it'll beat Mammoth Tank, it'll beat Sandstorm, played properly. It won't beat Kodiak. But I would also recommend playing the Hammerhead, because it kills the Kodiak and it kills the Orca Bomber, which I believe will be one of the most important units in this event. The other reason I do not recommend playing many of the tech units is that the core unit of this event is the Missile Trooper. This guy is absolutely ridiculous for this event. This event, clearly they have not tested this before releasing this unit list, because there is no counter to the Missile Trooper. The cheapest counter to the Missile Trooper is the APC, which costs you 120 for the War Factory plus APC, a whopping 120, and it will then lose to multiple Missile Troopers ganging up on it. So, the only other answers to the nefarious Missile Trooper, who truly is god tier in this event, is the Orca Bomber, which costs even more than the APC at 160 for the Helipad plus Orca Bomber, or tech units, which are even more expensive, the cheapest being the Wolverine at a whopping 200 for the Building plus Tech Lab. Now, every game is going to start with Harvester into missiles, or simply missiles. There is no way you're going to save up the amount needed for any of these units to stop a missile squad from destroying your Harvester. So, Missile Squad is absolutely the king of this event. Absolute god tier in this event is the Missile Trooper. Every game is going to come down to the Missile Troopers, basically. There's a slight difference between the maps, which I'll go into when we reach the map section. But for now, I'm just going to polish off the deck. So I believe you should play Pitbull, because it is the most efficient way to answer the Hammerhead, apart from using your own Hammerhead. And it can kill Borka in a pinch. I also believe you should use the APC, because even though it is egregiously expensive, it will kill a Missile Trooper once you get to the mid-game, if you get to the mid-game. Some games, you're never going to get there, but if you do, then the APC is one of the better options. It also will survive most of a Borka volley. You have to get an entire Borka volley on top of it to kill both the APC and the Missile Troopers. The last unit you play really doesn't matter too much. I think it should probably be a Zone Trooper. For when you get multiple Harvester kills, you're going to want something expensive to dump your Tiberium into. Zone Trooper is likely the best unit against the other units available. Basically, it's the one that fights Borka the best without losing automatically to missile squads. So that's why I'm going to recommend the Zone Trooper here. So all of these other tech units are fancy, and you could play them. You could definitely play a Disruptor instead, or the Mammoth, or the Sandstorm, or any of them really would be acceptable. But I believe that if you make it to a tech unit, chances are you're absolutely dominating the game anyway. So you really can pick any of them to close things out. So it doesn't really matter what your last unit is. As for commanders, I'm going to recommend Jackson. The reason for this is that Colonel Jackson is easily the best with the Borka, which I believe to be the second most important unit in this event. Also very good with the Hammerhead, which is the third most important unit in this event. So, Jackson is my recommended choice. Strong Arm looks like it should be good, because the game is about Missile Troopers, but actually it's very difficult to place a turret in such a way that Missile Troopers don't just walk away from it. The fighting will not actually happen that much on pads, as much as you'd expect in a normal game of Rivals. because it's all going to be about the missile trooper either killing your harvester or your base if there's no harvester to kill. So strong arm, you can just walk away from the turret. And also Borka, if the game does reach a point where people are actually spending Tiberium, Borka becomes the most important unit, which strong arm is not good against. I've done this testing with Striker. I've spent about 2 hours testing with Striker for this event, and this is the conclusion we've come to. I tried Liang as an option to defend the harvester, but it didn't quite do it. It was very close. Liang plus 2 missile squads almost managed to defend my harvester from Striker's missile squads, but unfortunately the Jackson boost overcame it when the drone went down for about half a second in between when it dies and when I was able to respawn it. Like the amount of time, the tiny amount of downtime, he was able to boost his missiles and get enough damage onto the harvester to finish it off. So, this is the deck I recommend for this event. There are 2 maps on this event, and I believe they play quite differently. So I'm going to go through the 2 maps as well, and we'll do that now. Okay, guys, so here we are with the first of the 2 maps that is in this event. We're going to take a look at Tug of War first. The 2 maps that I've been informed are Tug of War and Down the River. So here is Tug of War. As you can see, it is 3 tiles in the middle with Tiberium close to the base on each side. So the important thing about this map is that it's extremely difficult to block your harvester from enemy units when you are on your Tiberium patch. The Tiberium patch is completely open on all sides. There's no natural defenses, so it's extremely difficult to block off opponents' missile troopers from reaching it. So I believe the best strategy on this map is to open with 2 missile squads, and you send them down the middle of the map. The reason to go down the middle of the map is that you'll see your opponent's missile squad passing by if they also open missile squad. Now, what you do is, if they go missile squad and head towards your harvester, you do the same and go towards their harvester. If they don't make a harvester, you begin attacking the base. If they do make a harvester, you pressure the harvester and continue building missile squads. And do not make your own harvester. That's very important. If they make a harvester and you pressure, and their units try and defend the harvester, that's when you make your own harvester. But only if they're only if they're defending their harvester. If they have units pressuring your harvester, you don't want to make one. You just want to kill theirs. If, however, your opponent does not make a harvester, you attack their base. This is when it gets complicated, because you want 2 missile squads attacking the base, and then the pads will charge simply as units move back and forth towards each other's bases, missile squads, because that's the only unit you're going to be making. When it gets close to firing, that's when the game gets interesting, and you have to micro your missile squads to make sure you fire the missile. If you fire the missile, you'll then win the game with base damage. Missile squads cannot stop enemy missile squads from doing half a nuke's worth of damage to the base. So the game will simply come down to who fires the single nuke of the game, and then base races. In the event that your opponent makes a harvester and defends it and doesn't pressure your harvester, that's when you pressure theirs with 2 missile squads and then make your own harvester. When you get the harvester kill, you immediately make an Orca bomber, send it over to their harvester, you'll kill all of their missile squads, all of their units surrounding there, and it'll be very easy for you to take another harvester kill and snowball the game from there. Do not make your own harvester unless your opponent makes a harvester and does not pressure yours. If they choose to pressure yours, just don't make one. You'll win the game by getting the bounty off of their harvester. So that, I believe, is the best way to play Tug of War. Okay, let's move on to Down the River. So Down the River is a little bit different beast. As you can see on Down the River, the Tiberium patches are much more heavily defended. They're up against the edge of the map. The top left Tiberium area, you have 3 tiles adjacent to the harvester, and the natural Tiberium spot at the bottom, or top if you're the right-hand player, has 4 open spaces. On this map, it is very, very easy to open harvester, and simply to surround it with missile troopers to prevent the missile trooper rush. So I recommend opening with either harvester or a single missile squad into harvester. Use your single missile squad to scout. If they attempt to get to your harvester, you can block them off, and then you will get to harvest. After which, you want to, again, just be trying to make Borkas, like Orca Bombers or APCs, preferably Orca Bombers. then the game will turn into Orca Bomber and Hammerhead versus Orca Bomber and Hammerhead. At this point, the game can really go anywhere. Both players are going to be making pit bulls, maybe APCs, but it's really going to come down to a Orca Bomber and Hammerhead mirror match. Any tech units your opponent attempts to make are going to get killed by Orca Bomber almost certainly. And if your opponent does go double harvester, you should have the pop cap to pressure them with missiles. Because again, there's really very little that can actually kill missiles. So once you get to the mid game, it's just about the Orca Bombers and the Hammerhead. This is the reason to play Jackson, really, is because when you end up having this stupid Orca Bomber Hammerhead fight, Jackson is very, very good. So yeah, that's my recommendation for this event. You should play missiles, pit bull, APC, Hammerhead, Orca Bomber, and then a tech unit of your choice. I believe Zone Trooper might be the best, but really, I think if you get one out, you're miles ahead anyway. And then on Tug of War, you have to open missiles, and not make a harvester unless they are spending all of their resources defending their harvester, at which point it's safe for you to make one, which will not be harassed. Instead, you get into a base race situation, and on Down the River, you want to make harvester and then block with your own missiles so you can turn the game into an air war, because that is what is going to matter, in my opinion. Okay, well, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if you guys have watched my previous videos on these wargames theorycrafting. I've always theorycrafted with Striker. I've always won all of my games using the strategy I come up with. I'm reasonably convinced that the last 2 times I've been correct. And we'll have to wait and see how this one goes. I'll be uploading a video to see if I'm correct about this one as well. But I'm reasonably happy this is the way you're supposed to play this wargames. Alright, thanks guys. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright. Let me know how your wargames goes, and let me know if you have a different opinion on this one. Alright, thanks guys. See ya.